Hello, beautiful souls, and thanks so much for tuning in again. My name is Luca, I am Astar, and welcome to Source Light Star. So, today we're going to be channeling messages from Thoth. And Thoth is an ancient Kemetic deity. And Thoth resonates with Mercury and Hermes. I wouldn't say that they are exactly the same deity, but we're talking about the same cosmic energy. Because all the kemetic deities, they are actually aspects of the one source creator. And in this reading specifically, we are going to explore the nature of Thoth, which again is a cosmic principle. It's a cosmic, let's say, emanation of source. And all these deities, let's say Thoth or Hermes or Mercury, also Quetzalcoatl, which is also connected to Thoth, they are ways to describe that specific aspect of source. And obviously there can be many different aspects, because Thoth is known as the god of writing, but also the god of wisdom. And in the Mesoamerican tradition, Quetzalcoatl is known as the feathered serpent. And this also resonates with the energy of Thoth. So again, we're going to be exploring these different aspects of Thoth. And the intention of this reading is basically, help us understand this specific energy, which then in turn helps us connect with Source on a deeper level. So, as you can see, and as usual, we have 3 piles to choose from. And this time we can choose between the 3 decks. So many people have been asking about my decks, the name of the decks, and I use this as an opportunity to introduce my decks to you. So pile number 1 is the Lemurian Starchild Oracle. Pile number 2 is Tarot of the Stars Eternal, which is a stylized version of the Thoth Tarot. And pile number 3 is the Fountain Tarot. And obviously I'm going to be using all decks in all readings. So this is just for the pile selection. And as usual, if you're drawn to more than one reading, please watch more than one, because this is more, let's say, an introduction, or it's more like an educational reading, let's say. So if you really want to find out more about Thoth, then I invite you to look at all 3 piles, or to just go with the one where your intuition calls you. And yes, without further ado, let's get in. I'm going to be seeing you in your reading. Hello, pile number 1. So this is your reading if you have chosen the Lemurian Starchild Oracle. And again, we're going to be channeling messages from Thoth with the intention to connect with that specific energy. So let's see what we have for you today. Ooh, initiation. Love this. Okay. Deep trust, deep healing, and reconnection with all. And with this, I'm really being taken to the cosmic mind, because Thoth is, let's say, the cosmic intelligence. And I'm really being taken to, let's say, the hermetic principles, because the first hermetic principle, or is it the 7th? The first or the 7th, like one of the 7 hermetic principles, they say that everything is mental. So the all is mind, the universe is mental. And this is true, but it's almost like Thoth is coming through to tell us that it is not only mind, because we don't want to confuse this with our, let's say, human mind. Because Thoth really represents this cosmic intelligence, which is actually the heart mind. So it's not our mind where we produce thoughts based on our passions or our desires, but it is really the integrated mind and the heart. And this is very important to understand the energy of Thoth. Because, for example, when we think of Quetzalcoatl, which is the feathered serpent in the Mesoamerican tradition, this also resonates with Thoth. And it is actually the marriage between the heart and the mind. So it's really the marriage between the head and the heart. Because what does a dragon represent? A dragon is the union between a serpent and a bird, between heaven and earth. And this is actually what Thoth represents, like it's this marriage between the two forces. And that's why the staff of Hermes, or the magic rod of Mercury, or the staff of Thoth, that's the caduceus, where it's a rod in the middle and the two serpents. And these two serpents, they represent like the duality of masculine and feminine, but also the duality of heaven and earth, of the higher self and the lower self. And it's basically, yes, this duality, but what Thoth actually represents is the balance in the middle. So when we hear that the universe is mental and all is mind, what it actually means is that all is the heart mind. Because one side is the head and one side is the heart. And again, Thoth is the union of both. And this is what cosmic intelligence is. This is actually the dragon spirit. So the spirit of source, the spirit of source creator, is actually a dragon, because it's the married union of the opposite forces. But the card also says initiation, and this is where I'm really being taken to, being initiated into occult wisdom. And we are initiated in occult wisdom through the experience of spirit. And we as human beings, we embody this energy of Thoth, because we are dragons and we have that aspect of Thoth within ourselves. Why is that? Because our Kundalini, when it is dormant, is like the serpent energy at the base of our spine. And this energy has to be awakened so that it merges with, let's say, the bird in heaven. And that's why the caduceus has wings. And when this Kundalini is being awakened from the underworld and it is rising along the spine towards heavens, and it is meeting with that bird, like when the serpent meets the bird, then they merge into the dragon. And the dragon in that sense is a symbol of awakened consciousness, but it is actually cosmic consciousness. So what is happening as a result of the Kundalini activation? It's the merging of our lower animal primal consciousness, which is the serpent, with the higher cosmic consciousness, which then is the dragon. And this is the initiation. So the caduceus of Hermes, like the rod, the staff of Mercury or Hermes or Thoth, that's exactly talking about this awakening of consciousness. And what the rod actually represents, the two serpents, that's the Ida Nadi and Pingala Nadi. So the two channels where, let's say, the energy rises, and the central channel, which is the Shushumna Nadi. And this in the Egyptian tradition is called the Jet. So since the number 9 is also here and it says reconnection with all, Thoth, true wisdom and through the symbolism, helps us to reconnect with all, literally helps us reconnect with the cosmos. So what Thoth also represents is basically the union between the individual soul and the universal soul, between Atman and Brahma, Atman being the indwelling soul and Brahma being the all-encompassing soul. But the thing is, they were never actually separated. There is only this illusion of separation. And through wisdom, Thoth is helping us look beyond the veil of illusion. And this is initiation. Initiation into cosmic wisdom. And we also have the whale. So this is really talking about also the divine feminine wisdom. This is very interesting. So let's see what the cards have to say. So we're channeling messages from Thoth, and we have the Queen of Swords, the Princess of Cups. Ooh, I love the colors, very beautiful. Then we have the High Priestess. Wow, look at this. All the cards have a very similar vibe. Very magical. The Moon. Okay, wow. Love this energy. Then we have Two of Wands. Nine of Wands. Okay. The Wheel of Fortune. Beautiful. And we have the Knight of Wands. Okay. So a lot of wands. Just making some space for some oracle cards later on. But yeah, for some reason I'm really strongly being taken to the wands. And this alludes to Thoth also being the nature of magic. Because we as human beings, as I mentioned before, we are dragons. And what I mean by that is that we have all these cosmic principles within ourselves. And this is really the mirror between the microcosm and the macrocosm. So the human microcosm is a reflection of the macrocosm, the universal macrocosm. And Thoth helps us create this bridge between the two. And that's why part of the Hermetic principles is the axiom, I think it's called, or the statement, as above, so below. And this is one of the most known or the most important phrases of Thoth. And the way we understand this is by creating the bridge between the two. And this is where magic comes in. Because we as magicians, we are literally the bridge between the above, the higher realms, and the below, the lower realms. And we know this, or we experience this through wisdom. So the wisdom of Thoth, which is this cosmic intelligence, cosmic wisdom, also with the turtle, is helping us get to know ourselves. And that's why Thoth in ancient Egypt is known as the nature, and I say nature because it's not a god, because the ancient Kemetic deities, they have been, like, they are known as neters or netchers, neteru. And this actually alludes to nature. So they're not gods and goddesses, but they're really talking about one specific nature of source, one specific nature of the cosmos, like an emanation of a cosmic energy. And again, Thoth is the god of writing and of magic and of wisdom, because Thoth has been giving us the tools to connect with that cosmic consciousness. And one of these tools is writing, but also spells. So I'm being taken to witchcraft, invocation, using the power of our word, but also symbolism, writing. And if we think about ancient Egypt, the writing obviously has been hieroglyphics. So it's like more symbols. And through these symbols, Thoth is helping us again to connect to this cosmic consciousness. But he is basically giving us the tools to, yes, get to know ourselves. And that's why Thoth is also known for the statement, know thyself. But when we talk about know thyself, we're talking about, knowing the cosmos, knowing the true nature of who we are. Like not just knowing the human microcosm, but also knowing the universal macrocosm. And actually understanding that both are united as one. And this is the energy of Quetzalcoatl, of the feathered serpent. Because again, serpent is the underworld, the lower world, or let's say the human primal animalistic energy. And the feathers, they are like the heavenly realms. So again, this marriage of the two opposing forces. And yes, this is initiation. And now looking at the High Priestess and the Wheel of Fortune, I'm really being taken to the word wheel. Wheel, but also wheel. So wheel in the sense of the wheel of samsara, or the wheel of creation, Also, I'm being taken to the law of cause and effect, but also the wheel in the sense of the wheel of Isis. Wheel and wheel. I don't know if that's a thing, but I feel it's the same thing. So basically, everything that is in creation, everything that is Isis energy, like Isis is everything that has form, everything that is crystallized. So it's basically the wheel of illusion, the wheel of, being in the wheel of creation, of death and rebirth, or the wheel of constant reincarnation. So actually, Thoth helps us navigate this being in the wheel. So Thoth is almost giving us a blueprint to understand our life within the wheel. But Thoth also helps us to pierce beyond the wheel. And you can change the word wheel and wheel. It's so hard to pronounce, but yeah, wheel and wheel. So I almost feel it's interchangeable because, the feeling coming through is that they are actually the same. I don't know if that's the case, but I perceive this as such. So Thoth helps us to understand everything that is woven, like the web of creation, the mother matrix, our experience. And this is like wisdom, the experience within creation, the experience within the wheel on the wheel. But at the same time also helping us to step deeper. And this is where the energy of the moon comes in, almost exploring the realms of the invisible. And with these symbols, with writing, and with invocation, and with spells, and with all these tools that Thoth is providing, he is helping us to also understand the other side of the wheel, so the spirit realm and everything that is unknown. So basically, it's really this energy of tapping into the collective unconscious and making things conscious. And this is where Thoth is really helping us. But Thoth is also the energy that allows us to understand the cosmos from both perspectives. Like, Thoth really resonates with the energy of Gemini. So I don't say that there is a direct connection, but I feel like the ancient archetype of Gemini is almost created, or it comes from Thoth. Because again, Gemini is this energy of the twins. And actually Thoth is known as the twin dragon, the twin serpent, or the serpent spirit, or the twin, the cosmic dragon twin. Sorry, my camera cut out. But I've been talking about the archetype of Gemini. And the archetype of Gemini is exactly this ability to look at life from both perspectives, to almost have this earthly perspective, but also to have, let's say, this heavenly perspective, to look at our life from, let's say, an ego perspective, but also from a higher self perspective. So every time in life we feel like we are struggling, we can call in the nature of Thoth to help us see whichever side we need to see in this moment. So let's say if we are very much in our ego consciousness and we don't see like the higher, we don't have this higher perspective, we can call in Thoth to help us see our situation from this elevated perspective, from this cosmic perspective, from the above. But also at the same time, if we need help with grounding, and this can be like help with creating with our creative endeavors, or almost having an idea, or channeling spirit, having inspiration, but not really knowing how to ground it, not really knowing how to birth it into creation, we can also call in Thoth, because again, Thoth has this overview of both. And this is the energy of the dragon. Like the dragons are beings from the higher realms, from the heavenly realms, but they're also connected to the earth. So that's why they have the wisdom of both sides. And that's why the dragons, they are the guardians of the treasures. Because that's the treasure. The treasure is the marriage between both forces, between the feminine and the masculine, between yin and yang, between the ego and the soul, between the heavens and the earth. And that's why we can call on this cosmic intelligence to help us further. And yeah, that's exactly the energy of the heart mind, which again is the integrated head and heart. Because in order to move forward in life, we cannot only look at things through the logical lens. We cannot only use the head, but at the same time we can also not only use the heart. Because if we only use the heart, if we're super open-hearted without using discernment, that is also not possible. So it really talks about balance, but this integrated balance. And this force, this dragon spirit, this cosmic intelligence, the cosmic intellect, is what creates this cosmos. Because Thoth, and now coming back to the underworld with the moon, I'm really being taken to the energy of Noon, which is the great void, the primordial soup of pre-creation. Like, it's the potential of everything, which is however not yet created. It is the spirit, and now I'm being taken to the Bible. This dragon spirit is the spirit that moves upon the face of the waters. And the waters in this case is this chaos ocean, this chaos ocean of fiery plasma, of not yet created matter. And as this dragon spirit is moving upon the face of the water, it's almost this intelligence creating creation. But it is almost taking it from the potential into the crystallization. So it's, I'm really being taken to the dream time. So yes, the universe is mental, but it is not only mind, it is actually, again, the heart mind. And this cosmic dragon is what is dreaming all realities into being. But it happens with the dream time. So yes, everything is created, but actually it is not really created. So that's again the veil of Isis, where the veil itself is an illusion. So everything that is in creation is not actually creation, because it all comes from silence and it all goes back to silence. So it's again this divine paradox where, yes, on one side it's created, but actually it has never been created. And this is really what the ancient Egyptian religion is based upon. So it is creation that has not been created, or it's sound that comes from silence, but it is actually silence, which is different to the Big Bang theory, because it's almost like creation that comes from silence and then is sound. Yes, it's hard to find the words for it, but it's almost the divine paradox in the sense that, yes, things are not as they seem. And this is really where Thoth is initiating us into the cosmic secrets, because, when we understand the workings of creation, then we can almost, we can heal, because Thoth is also the nature of healing, Thoth is the nature of healing, because he helps us understand that everything is already healed. So let's say a disease or a condition or a imbalance is actually like a sound, is actually like something that is not balanced with union, with wholeness, with healing, with oneness, basically. And Thoth comes in to help us understand that everything is already healed, that all sounds come from silence, and all sounds are actually silence, because nothing is actually created. It is just an illusion of creation. So every time there is an illness, it's almost like the illusion that something is not whole, where in actuality it is whole, because this is where it's coming from. And this is the central channel of the caduceus, the staff of Hermes, the staff of Thoth, where yes, there are two sides, yes, there are two serpents, but actually it comes from one. So yes, there are serpents and birds, but actually it's the unified dragon. And it's this intelligence, this consciousness that permeates the all and creates the all. Beautiful energy. Let's see what the oracle cards have to say. So we are channeling messages from Thoth. Thank you so much for channeling through me. Okay, we have angelic ones. 2 more. Okay, there we go. Then we have divine feminine, receive your birthright, unconditional love. And we have the Lemurian guide. Okay. So for some reason I'm really being taken to, I feel some of you might be asking about, because there are ancient stories that say that Thoth has actually been present or incarnated on planet Earth. And this is true, because there has been a physical Thoth on Earth, like the high priest Thoth, or like Thoth the Atlantean. But it's not in the way that we understand it, because the times where Thoth was present on Earth, it's the time of Lemuria. And yes, he has been seeding knowledge from the higher realms into the sphere of Earth, but it's not actually that he has been giving us writing in the sense that an extraterrestrial landed on Earth and instructed beings how to write, or instructed beings how to create magic. Thoth, like this incarnation, but it's actually a spirit being, so we have to think this cosmic dragon, this spirit of source creator, has been entering the sphere of Earth as a spirit being, as a, maybe an extraterrestrial if this is how we perceive it, but it's actually a non-physical being that was almost incarnated or part of the Earth collective. And this spirit has been almost coding this information into the grid of the Earth. And basically, Thoth is also the record keeper. So he's basically speaking this wisdom into the energetic grid of the Earth, into, let's say, the consciousness grid of the Earth, so that all the beings were able to tap into this wisdom. And this is where the energy of the High Priestess comes through. So Thoth has not actually been physically present. Yes, maybe in Atlantean times he was actually physically present, but the knowledge that he has been seeding was more so he was coding the Akashic records, so that we human beings could tap into the Akashic records and ground this wisdom. And this is again this divine feminine energy, where, with the divine feminine I'm really being taken to Isis again, the energy of the Akashic records, about this web, this spirit web that allows us to channel information. And with the angelic ones, I'm really being taken to this energy of a light being. So Thoth, yes, is the cosmic dragon, is a deity, a principle of source, but Thoth has also been present in Lemurian times and in Atlantean times to, seed wisdom that helps us move forward. And Thoth is also known for the story of the Great Flood, where it's almost the story of the ibis. So when the earth is in need of wisdom, when there was this reset where the flood destroyed everything, and Thoth basically came in to give the gifts of civilization, to give the knowledge that the people needed in order to rebuild society or to rebuild civilization. And we cannot say for sure if Thoth was physically present, or if it's just telling us that he was that humans were channeling this information from the Akashic records. But the energy of Thoth was present in that moment. So the energy of Thoth was present in Lemurian times, where we were almost preparing planet Earth for human beings. But Thoth was also present after the Great Flood to rebuild civilization. And this is actually, we don't really, it's not important whether he is physical or spiritual, because it's both sides. So many people think of Atlantis as being a myth. Like there is always this question, is Atlantis a myth? Or has it been there in actuality? Like, was it really physically here? And the answer is both. Because that's exactly what Thoth tries to tell us. That everything is both spiritual and physical. And that the spiritual mirrors the physical. And yes, Atlantis is a myth, but it has also happened. It is a spiritual analogy, but it was really physically present. So there is really something about understanding the duality and understanding that everything is actually one. And this is divine feminine wisdom, the experience of spirit, where we understand that everything is one. And it really depends on which perspective we're looking at, because there is one perspective, but there can also be another perspective. Like there can be an infinite amount of perspectives, but in the end all these perspectives, they come from one. And Thoth is basically the roadmap which helps us to reconnect with that oneness. And the oneness is healing. And that's why Thoth, or the dragons, the dragon teachers, they are the master healers, because they help us guide our way back to oneness and unite all the lands, the lower Egypt and the upper Egypt, the spirit world and the physical world, the heavens, and like, yes, beautiful, beautiful energy. And that's initiation. So definitely this reading was also an initiation into cosmic wisdom, into the mysteries of Thoth. And I'm very excited to see what else comes up in the other readings. So this was your message for today. And thank you so much for tuning in. I really hope you enjoyed this reading. If you would like to have a personal reading, I'm also offering personal readings. So you'll find all the information in the description box below. And I'm sending you all of my blessings, sending you all of my love, and I hope to see you in the next reading. Thanks so much for watching. Hello, beautiful souls. So this is your reading if you have chosen pile number 2 with Tarot of the Stars Eternal. And again, in this reading we are going to be channeling messages from Thoth with the intention to understand the nature of Thoth. Because if you come from pile 1, I have already explained that the ancient kemetic deities, they were actually emanations of Source. And the names of these beings, like they were the neteru, the neters, the natures. So they are not really beings as such, but they are the nature of Source, the emanations of Source that help us understand Source, which is undefinable. So all these deities, they are forms that help us understand that which lies beyond form. And this is really, where Thoth is also helping us, almost helping us to understand that which lies beyond words. But let's see what we have. And we have the cosmic self. Ooh, beautiful. You are a cosmic being. Stay confident in your truth. So I'm really being made to feel that Thoth is very much also present in the collective right now. Because if you come from pile 1, I have already mentioned that Thoth is always present when there is a big shift in the collective. Thoth has been here to seed wisdom in Lemurian times, but he has also been here on Earth to almost herald this new era after the Great Flood. And now, since we are shifting from the age of Pisces into the age of Aquarius, I'm being made to feel that Thoth is very much present to bring in the wisdom and the knowledge that we need in order to make that shift. And in this case, the shift that is happening is the shift into cosmic consciousness, where we see ourselves as these cosmic beings, where we understand that we are Thoth. Thoth is the cosmic dragon. Thoth is the dragon spirit of Source, like the spirit that moved upon the face of the waters. It's the cosmic intelligence which creates the entire universe. And we are not separate from that, because we as human beings, we are creator beings who are creating this earth, this universe. And that's why Thoth is within ourselves. Like Thoth is I am Thoth, you are Thoth. That's all these deities of ancient Egypt and all the other pagan traditions. They're actually helping us understand these aspects within ourselves. And again, it's this rising to cosmic consciousness. And yes, one part of it is understanding or seeing that principle within ourselves, but it's also expanding our consciousness in the sense of I'm really being taken to star beings, where we are getting to know about our star ancestors. We are getting to know that there are all these other species, all these star beings, and all these multidimensional aspects of ourselves. And yeah, it's an expansion of our inner world, but also an expansion of the outside world. But again, it's the same, because as above, so below, as within, so without. So yeah, it's an expansion in every sense. So an expansion of who we are. And this is really where Thoth comes in to guide us, because Thoth again is the nature of wisdom, the nature of understanding. It's the higher intellect. And yeah, funnily enough, with this I'm being made to feel this solar plexus energy. So what I'm being made to feel with this is that knowledge is power. And we wouldn't think that there is a connection between, let's say, the higher centers and our solar plexus, but actually Thoth is coming through to tell us that the more we know about ourselves, the more confident we can be, because the more we understand that we are source, that we are the whole universe. This is the ultimate empowerment, and this is connected with our solar plexus. So we can also call in Thoth to help us understand our truth, so that we can take precise action or confident action, or action from a place of empowerment where we know that we are the entire universe and that nothing can stand in our way, because that's basically the power of love. So when we say that all is mind, or the universe is mental, like these are the emerald tablets of Thoth the Atlantean, it is not that everything is mind, but everything is heart, or everything is the heart mind. Everything is the integrated head and the heart. And when we marry these two forces, this is the ultimate empowerment, because that means that we have both perspectives. And when this union happens, this is the awakening of Kundalini, the awakening of our consciousness. This is ultimate empowerment. And we are wanting to ultimately empower ourselves in order to create heaven on earth. Because yes, what we are doing is literally grounding this cosmic consciousness into this present moment. And the more we do that, the more we can create the circumstances that allow us to embody this cosmic consciousness here on earth. So there is really something about multidimensionality coming through. And yeah, you are a cosmic being, like staying confident in that. Whenever there are fluctuations between, let's say, when we are too much in our head or too much in our heart, or when we might, I don't know, when we might, for example, yes, there is something about almost the bridge or the connection between the inner eye and the solar plexus. So whenever we are not seeing things clearly, or whenever we are not confident enough to take action, we can call in the nature of Thoth, the presence of the cosmic dragon, to help us balance these energies so that we can see things clearly, and we can also take empowered action. Because yes, the solar plexus is the center where we are almost taking the energy of the sun, and through our actions we are birthing it into this physical realm. And so for some reason, yes, this is the umbilical cord. This is the umbilical cord that connects us to our cosmic mother. And there is something about, I never thought about this, but actually the solar plexus is quite similar to the inner eye in some way, because yeah, it's the solar plexus is not only physical, but it's actually this umbilical cord that takes the cosmic energy and it is birthing it into the physical through our actions. And the inner eye is the bridge between the physical and the spiritual, between everything that's visible and everything that's invisible. So yes, we can call in Thoth to almost show us both sides of the coin. And when we are able to see the invisible behind the visible, then it is almost, again, this empowerment of our actions. It is basically aligning our actions with our heart and having both sides of the coin, having the feminine approach and the masculine approach, looking at it from a spiritual perspective but also from a physical perspective. And only when there is this integrated energy of both, then we can take actions which are in full alignment with not only ourselves but with the whole cosmos. So for some reason our solar plexus is very much connected with the openness of our inner eye. And this is very much where the energy of Thoth comes in, because again, Thoth is higher intellect, higher understanding. It is not the mind, the ego-based mind, where we might take actions based on our passions, but we can call in Thoth to help us take actions which are in alignment with our truth. And that's why it says, stay confident in your truth. So some of you might definitely be going through solar plexus activations, but also the opening of the inner eye. And I feel that they are related. Like I never looked at this energy this way, but there is something very, very significant about these two centers. But let's see what this is about. So we're channeling messages from Thoth, and we have the sun. There you go. That's the confirmation. Absolutely. Solar plexus energy, but it is not the solar plexus. Basically it is understanding that our creative energy is the same creative energy that creates the entire universe, and that we're not separated from that. So when Thoth, as the cosmic dragon spirit, as the cosmic intelligence, the cosmic consciousness of source that is creating the universe, like that flows through us as well. The breath of spirit is also our breath, and it is not separated. And the more we embody that understanding that we are the sun, we are stars, I am a star, then we are literal masters. And that's why, if you come from pile number 1, I've been mentioning that we are dragons. Sorry, my camera cut out, but yes, let's continue. Then we have the Queen of Cups, beautiful. We have the 10 of Swords, okay, it's making some space here. Then we have the Tower, okay, what is this about? Queen of Wands, Strength, okay, definitely something about empowerment here. Page of Coins, and the 8 of Coins. And I'm actually being told to also pull some oracle cards, which I'm gonna do right now. So again, we're channeling messages from Thoth. Okay, there we go. So we have Indigo Child. Then we have the Heart of Ascension. And we have Guidance. And we have Awakening. Know who you are. DNA activation. Beautiful. Let's make some space here. So I'm again being taken back to this energy of us being masters, us being, we can call in the nature of Thoth if we are wanting to raise our ability to work with energy. Because when we understand our true nature, when we understand that we are the sun, when we understand that the light that we are shining is the light of source, and obviously we all know that on a soul level, but it is almost, we are wanting to be reminded of that, because it's not always possible to operate from that state of consciousness. Very often the ego takes like the reins, and we might think that we're separate from the cosmos, or we might think that we have to do things on our own, or maybe when there are blockages in the solar plexus, then we cannot really take empowered action. But there is something about, yes, understanding that the light of source is the light of our heart. And the more we embody that energy, the more we embody that understanding, the greater our ability to work with energy. And this is where, yes, the energy of the magician comes in, because Mercury and Hermes, that's actually, it is known as the messenger of the gods. And the messenger is, it's this energy of traveling between the realms. So in order to work with magic, we have to have this understanding of the human realm, but also the higher realms. Because what we are doing is basically creating a bridge between the two. So for example, when we are giving a Reiki healing or a healing session, or when we are channeling information, it is not coming from our own effort, but all we have to do is understand who we are, connecting with that state of consciousness that we are source, that we are the sun, opening that portal and allowing it to flow through. And this is how we create magic. Magic doesn't come from us. It is not coming from the ego, but it is coming from the marriage between both realms, between the above and the below. And Thoth is the connection between the two. And that's why the staff of Hermes, the rod of Mercury, the staff of the caduceus basically, is a symbol of that. And this is providing us also a roadmap to understand our own energy, how we manage our energy, how we find our own empowerment. And this is where the strength comes through. Like, our strength is not coming from violence, it's not coming from the ego, it's not coming from look how powerful I am or look what I can do, but it's actually allowing the universe to work through us. So for example, when I give a healing session, I know that I'm not doing the healing. What I am doing is only opening a portal and allowing that consciousness, that spirit to work through me. And it's the universe creating magic, not me. I'm just the medium. I'm just, and that's what a magician is. It's the medium, it's the bridge between all the realms. And this is our ultimate strength. So strength is this surrendering or this trusting of the higher forces. And that's the greatest strength. Like, strength comes from the ability to surrender. It's not coming from the ability to control things. And that's why the Queen of Cups is coming through, the energy of allowing things to happen, allowing the natural flow. And that's very beautiful, because we have the ibis coming through, and that's exactly Thoth. And Thoth is a master in the sense that he has mastered both. He has mastered the energy of the solar plexus, when he knows where it's time to take action, but he has also mastered the inner eye, where he is receptive for the guidance of spirit. And it's almost waiting for the intuitive call, for the intuitive insight, and then taking action based on that. So not taking action from an ego-based consciousness, but taking action from the guidance of our higher self. And this is how we best work with energy, because we have to have both. We have to be confident and ambitious and taking action in the physical, but again, also understanding, yes, as above, so below. And that's why Thoth gives us the emerald tablets. Thoth is the nature of wisdom, the nature of writing. Like, all these tools help us get to know our heart, basically. It's a roadmap that helps us ascend into our star being, into our cosmic being, like cosmic consciousness. And this is the ultimate healing, because healing is actually about letting go of every thought pattern which makes us believe otherwise. Every thought pattern or every structure, mental structure, that limits us. And it's very interesting, because I keep on being taken back to the energy of, yes, the Kybalion, so the 7 hermetic principles. And I personally feel, and that's my own opinion, I personally feel that that version that most people know, it is not entirely correct, because they really look at it from the perspective that everything is mental, that all is mind. And that is again almost this focus on the masculine principle, which is obviously this what let's say the Matrix wants us to believe, like to always be in this masculine energy of being active all the time, or like work, and these patriarchal systems, like it's almost wanting to make us believe that everything comes from the masculine, but that's not true, because it's not all. The all is not the mind, but the all is the heart mind, and that is that union of both, the union of, yes, the intellect, the thought process, but also the intuition that comes from the heart, and we have to have both. But when we think that all is mind, that all is mental, it is almost disconnected to the truth of our heart, disconnecting us to the intuition, which is divine feminine energy. So I feel the version, and that's a personal opinion. You can have a completely different opinion, and that's fine. I'm just sharing my own truth. I feel this is part of a distortion. This is part of... Because that's the thing. So many of these ancient teachings that are very much in the collective right now, there is truth in it, but it's not all the truth. So it's a little bit of truth mixed with distortions. And this is very dangerous. So we take it as truth while maybe not being able to see where the distortion lies. And this is where the energy of the open inner eye that is coming through. So in order to fully ascend, to fully awaken, there needs to be this open inner eye, so that we can even look beyond this illusion. Because we might think that we are all enlightened when we research like the 7 hermetic principles, knowing that we have found the ultimate truth. But the ultimate truth is not to be found in a book. It is not to be found in anything that is physical. But the ultimate truth is found outside of creation, outside of everything that is perceivable. And this is where Thoth comes in to let us know that everything is not as it seems. And yes, the above is mirroring the below, but the union of both is actually completely different than either one of those. Like, it's again this paradox, and it's so hard to find these words about the paradox, but yeah, in order to get to know our truth, our true self, we want to have different approaches, not only to study things, not only to read books and to take every word for truth, but almost, yes, obviously reading scriptures, learning in that sense, but then always checking in with our heart and seeing if it's true. And this is where the energy of the indigo child comes in, because the indigo children, they see behind all distortions, they see the truth, because they come in with an open inner eye. Some indigo children also come in with a fully awakened Kundalini from the child, from early age on. And this is why, this is the energy of seeing behind these distortions. And when we are able to see behind these distortions again, then we are really connecting with our heart. And this is ultimate expansion, love for all. And that's why with Release the Past, it is almost coming through as like some sort of a warning. Don't believe everything you read or hear from any source. Don't even believe anything I tell you, because that's just my perspective. And you always want to tune in with your own heart to see what is your truth, what is your unique truth, and knowing that every truth is valid, but every personal truth can never be the ultimate truth, because the ultimate truth is unknowable, it's undefinable, it lies outside of creation. And this is where this paradox comes in. So Thoth helps us understand creation, helps us navigate this physical realm with the wisdom and with the understanding and with the intellect, but actually at the same time it is telling us that none of this is kind of relevant, because it's not about that. Very interesting message, but yeah, with the Tower coming through and with the Ten of Swords and with Release the Past, it's about releasing all these limitations and releasing all these narratives, like these old narratives that are so limiting, where a scripture says this is the ultimate truth and every other truth is not valid. But no, nothing that is written in a book can be the ultimate truth. Nothing that is in creation, again, I don't want to repeat myself, but nothing that is in creation is the ultimate truth. And that's why it's almost about detaching ourselves a little bit from needing to know or wanting to know, because what we actually want to know is it's not possible to know, because what we actually want to know is the truth that is source, like reconnecting back with source, and that's outside of creation. That's like ascension, but on super next level. Not even ascension into a higher dimension, but completely transcending the omniverse of creation and moving into pre-creation and even beyond the great void. Like, source exists even beyond the great void, and it is so undefinable that not even by studying Thoth or not even by studying anything we are able to get even a glimpse of what source actually is. And that's why it's safe to surrender. It's safe to, yes, follow our inner guidance, and it is okay not to know everything. And it's okay not to force ourselves to heal, or not to force ourselves to, almost, I'm being made to feel there is an energy of either wanting to know or wanting to heal, but it is almost happening with pressure. Like, I need to heal this karma, I need to let go of these aspects of myself, I need this Tower moment to happen, but it's actually reminding us of the sweetness of surrender, like the surrender of how good it is not to know, how good it is not knowing what is next, how good that it is, almost like making peace with the feeling of, I have absolutely no idea how to heal, I have absolutely no idea how to ascend. But that's the best that we can do, because that's actually the closest we can get to the ultimate truth. Because again, the ultimate truth only happens, we can only get to know that truth by surrendering, or by, yeah, trusting the inner compass, but at the same time knowing that it's not as relevant as we might think. It's almost this playful, yeah, and it says playfulness, almost this playful energy, because on one side I'm being made to feel this energy of wanting to know, wanting to heal, but at the same time this energy of, it doesn't matter anyway, because it's all kind of an illusion. And I don't want to say that I'm discrediting our life or our experience in this realm, but it is almost moving through life with detaching ourselves a little bit. Like, yes, we are here on a mission, or we are here to heal, or we are here to do everything we think that we need to do, but actually none of that matters so much. And it is very much about, yes, awakening, but in a very playful way, where we can build, where we can create things, we can empower ourselves, but it is happening in a very light-hearted way. This is where this light-hearted energy comes in. And we can also call in Thoth to help us navigate through life with that energy, being more light-hearted, being more playful, being more, yes, almost literally seeing this life as a game, not seeing it as a game where we need to get to the next level and force ourselves to heal and force ourselves to move forward, but playing in the sense of just enjoying. Like, it's okay not knowing where we are gonna be in 1 year. It's okay not knowing how we can heal maybe a wound, because maybe it's just here to teach us something, or it's obviously just here as a teacher. So almost seeing that everything that is happening in creation is a teacher that helps us connect with the truth of our heart, but at the same time that none of that matters so much, because it is not the ultimate truth. I hope this makes sense. But before I move to the next pile, I'm being called to look at the back of the deck. So we have Emergence, very beautiful energy. Then we have the Empress, that's exactly, yes. And we have the Ace of Pentacles, like, wow, very interesting message, because I'm really being taken to the physical realm, where the message that is coming through, we are wanting to create and to build from this perspective, because again, Thoth is the marriage between the head and the heart, between the spirit realm and the physical realm. And this is actually the Ace of Pentacles, like it's new opportunities, starting new projects in the physical realm, but always having in the mind, having in the back of our head that all comes from spirit. And this is how we can play, like it's, yeah, knowing that something about the permanence of impermanence, that's what I hear. So yeah, navigating this life from this perspective that we're actually here for such a short period of time, and we want to embrace us being here. We want to cherish our life. We want to live our life with this Empress energy, to literally emerge as a butterfly. And everything that has been here in our way, like all the healing that we might need to do, all the releasing that we might need to do, it's about us connecting or almost emerging as a butterfly, emerging as this new being, and thus gathering wisdom and understanding that helps us get one step closer to source. So it is almost, yeah, it's not about the end goal, it's about the journey. So Thoth is really coming through to tell us to embrace the journey and not take things too seriously, and again connect with this playful aspect and seeing the abundance of life. And the more we embody this abundant energy, the more we see this short period of being on earth as an ultimate blessing. It is almost detaching ourselves a little bit from healing, like we don't need to heal all the time, but we are actually healed. And this is what Thoth also wants to tell us, like, yes, there is an illusion of us needing to heal certain things, but actually in our heart everything is already healed. Yes, we are here to learn certain things, but actually in our heart we already know everything. So again, this divine paradox, and it keeps coming up. So yeah, I never looked at Thoth through the energy of the divine paradox, but this is exactly this duality, where it's the illusion of duality which actually is all one. And this is the black serpent and the white serpent, which actually is, yeah, it's actually oneness. So it's about oneness and operating from that state of consciousness that everything is one. And that helps us move through life with this light-hearted energy, the energy of a child, where we are being guided through our awakening, but in a very easy manner, where we are flowing, and when we are embodying this energy of the Empress and a lot of solar plexus energy. Again, it wouldn't shock me if some of you are going through solar plexus activation or the expansion of your inner eye that allows you to move through life with this empowered energy, like you literally being a butterfly. Now is the butterfly moment. That's what I'm hearing. What a beautiful energy. So thank you so much for allowing me to channel this message for you. I really hope you resonated, and please let me know in the comments if you did. And I'm also offering personal readings, so if you would like to have a personal reading, you can always reach out to me, and you will find all the information in the description box below. And I'm sending you all of my blessings, I'm wishing you all of my love, and I hope to see you in the next reading. Thanks so much for watching. Hello, beautiful souls. So this is your reading if you have chosen pile number 3 with the Fountain Tarot. And again, we're going to be channeling messages from Thoth with the intention to help us understand the nature of Thoth. So let's dive right in. Let's see what we have for you. All right, look at this. Ether and matter, spiritualized matter, new life, sparkles bedding in the light. And with this energy, I'm really being taken back again to the energy of the caduceus. So if you come from pile number 1 or 2, I have been mentioning this energy of the caduceus being the two opposing forces and the one in the center. And this is very much the energy of ether and matter, where again it's the energy of as above, so below. And I don't want to repeat myself because I feel it's a very similar message than the other piles. So if you feel drawn to the other piles, there are definitely going to be messages for you in there. But I want to see what the cards have to say before I repeat myself, because I'm being made to feel there is something else very important to mention about the bridge between the two. Because when we think about the marriage between ether and matter, that's the ultimate awakening of consciousness, where we understand again that above mirrors the below, that the spirit realm mirrors the physical realm. But I want to see, yes, what the cards have to say, so we understand what the specific message about this is. But yeah, let's see. We have the star. Oh my god, beautiful. Make some space. Then we have the Ace of Scepters, Three of Pentacles, Three of Cups, Five of Swords, okay, beautiful, Ace of Cups, the Emperor, Seven of Coins, oh, and we have an additional card as well, which I'm gonna put here, Justice, okay. Alright, okay, now it's coming through. So I'm really being taken to the story of the weighing of the heart. Because the weighing of the heart is the story where Thoth is weighing the heart, our heart, in the halls of Ma'at. And Thoth is actually the consort of Ma'at. And Ma'at, it's the nature of balance. It's the nature of harmony. It's the nature of, yes, righteousness and virtue. And when our heart is being weighed in the halls of Ma'at, it is actually the cosmos making sure that our actions are in alignment with ourselves or in alignment with our heart. So whenever we are acting against the laws of Ma'at, then imbalance is being created. And so in order to bring the balance back, like it's almost Thoth coming through to help us understand what karma actually is. When there is imbalance, it is not that we are being punished for our misdeeds, but everything that happens, like the result of our karma, is basically here to bring this balance back. Like karma is here to, restore balance. And everywhere where we or our ancestors or beings have been acting against the order is being restored. So there is something about understanding that chaos is also part of almost finding our way back to balance. Because I'm being made to feel this is the reason why ether and matter exist in the first place. Because if everything would be one, if everything was one, if Source Creator as oneness, as ultimate love, then there is almost nothing to experience, because it's all one, and Source knows everything, is everything, and there is nothing to feel or experience because everything is contained within itself. So Source almost chooses to create this paradox, this illusion of multiplicity, this splitting of the oneness into two. And the split is obviously the divine feminine and the divine masculine, the creation, the physical creation, and the spiritual, the above and the below. But again, this is only an illusion, this is only a paradox. So whenever we are thinking of yes or no, or the two choices like left or right, or good and bad, good or evil, light and darkness, it is both coming from the one source. And it's not so much about which choice we take. So no matter what choice we take in our life, we will always end up where we need to be. And it literally doesn't even matter if we go for it or not, if we choose to open our heart or not. Because in the end, we always will end up where we came from. It is about understanding the oneness that transcends duality. And with this message coming through, actually Thoth helps us understand that on the most essential, like us as human beings, us as creator beings, like the most in our essence, what we can do is either breathe or hold our breath. Because when we breathe, then we breathe with the cosmos. Then we are one with the cosmos. Then we are one with this flow. But when we hold our breath, it is almost like we are not allowing things to flow naturally. And this is what creates or attracts the energy of chaos. So whenever there is a roadblock in the natural flow of creation, then chaos is being attracted, or chaos is entering our life. But again, this chaos or these disruptions are only here to help us find this balance back. So this is almost our way back home. So the message coming through with this is that even if we might feel out of balance, it is still helping us to connect with unity, to connect with the higher realms in a way. And so the story of the weighing of the heart is exactly that. Like our heart is not being judged or weighed only when we leave this physical incarnation, but it happens all the time, because the universe is always making sure that the order is being upheld. And everywhere where there is disorder or chaos, it is actually here to almost find the eye of the storm. So it is about riding these waves of chaos to find our way back home. And it is almost going into this cosmos of perceived multiplicity, in this cosmos of perceived duality, to then again find our way back home to oneness. But we want to see this duality for what it is. It is basically this illusion of duality. So there is no good and evil. There is no right and wrong, because it all comes from one. And yes, obviously there are situations or happenings or actions that we, from our human perspective, might perceive as evil. Because I'm not discrediting that there is darkness in creation, because again, there is darkness and light. There are right choices and wrong choices, which are actually choices which are in alignment with the cosmic balance or out of alignment with the cosmic balance. But both of them are part of one. So this is why Thoth is coming through to help us understand that no matter which choice we take, we always end up where we need to be. And that's why it is safe to trust. That's why it is safe to let go. And again, the only thing we can do as human beings is either to breathe, to surrender, to allow the universe to flow through us and work through us, or to hold the breath. And when we hold the breath, then we are not accepting the flow as it is. And that's why, yes, most essentially we can either say yes to life, or we can say no to life. We can either open our heart for our truth, or we can close our heart for our truth. So if we hold on to the state of consciousness that evil exists, and if we are almost mad at everything that is going on in life, or if we think that everything is unfair, then it's almost like we are holding the breath. Then it is almost like we are closing our heart, because it means that we are not accepting creation as it is. And again, there needs to be darkness in order for there to be light, because otherwise it would be love, which transcends both. The androgynous union of divine feminine and masculine. And in order to have an experience, there needs to be both. There needs to be duality. There needs to be both aspects. So the message coming through here is we don't want to hyper-focus on the light, but also not hyper-focus on the darkness, and knowing that everything shall pass, and everything is in constant motion. And even if there are cycles of darkness and cycles of light, it's actually all part of the same coin. And with the Ace of Scepters coming through, I'm almost being made to feel that there is a new beginning, but I'm being made to feel it's a new beginning of consciousness. Because the Ace of Scepters, that's our magic wand. That's where we initiate things, where we take action. And that's the divine masculine energy. And the Ace of Cups is this universal love, or being receptive to the universal love, being receptive to the love, the unconditional love of the universe. And yes, we're wanting to understand the importance of both, like knowing when to take action, knowing when to surrender, knowing when we have to maybe even accept darkness. And that is a very hard thing to accept. That was, at least in my spiritual journey, one of the hardest pills to swallow, where I needed to accept that part of being in creation, not even being a human, but part of being in the cosmos that is creation, is also experiencing darkness, is having to accept that we need to experience pain and suffering, because that's just part of creation. But when we're able to accept that and seeing it for what it is, then we can literally ascend to the stars. Then we can literally embody our star being. If you come from pile number 2, we have been talking about activating our solar plexus while also being receptive to this higher perspective. So again, it's about laying our sword down, almost saying like, okay, I fully accept. If you want me to suffer, if that's really necessary, then I accept. And again, that's a hard pill to swallow, because accepting that part of being here also means suffering, that is not something that we want to do. Like, it's not a pleasant thing. But again, it's also this question of, do we breathe or do we hold the breath? Because if we don't want to accept, then it is almost like we're holding the breath. We're not accepting the pain that maybe is present in our life. And this keeps us in a loop where we are stuck, where we are always cycling in these emotions, always holding on to this pain, actually holding on to the darkness. But when we accept the darkness and see it for what it is, that is actually oneness, then we can let go and continue to breathe. And then when we continue to breathe, then we can actually see, oh, wow, it's not too bad. This darkness has only been here to help me understand the truth that I actually am. Not just understanding my light, but understanding what is beyond that. And this is where Thoth comes in. This is where, yes, we are experiencing this cosmos through the lens of matter in our waking state, where we have our day-to-day interactions, where we are in a quite dense duality, in a quite dense experience of pleasure and pain, of light and dark. But we are also experiencing this cosmos through the ethers. So whenever we sleep and we close our eyes, we have the chance to move into the subtle realms, the astral realm, but also sometimes higher dimensions. And this is also part of our experience. Because, by the way, we are not only human beings in a waking state, like we almost sleep half of our life. And that's also a very big part of being human. So we're not only human beings physical, but we are also spiritual beings, and we connect to the etherical realms actually every day. So it is about also not forgetting that, yes, ether and matter, like there are also both perspectives in that sense. And that's why it's also coming through, like not hyper-focusing only on the waking state, not hyper-focusing only on our life here as this persona, but also tuning into the higher dimensional aspects of who we are. And before I continue, I'm feeling called to pull some oracle cards. And again, we are channeling messages from Thoth. What messages are there from the nature of Thoth? Okay, there we go. So we have key to your freedom. Exactly. That's exactly what it is. This is the key to our freedom. But I'll get back to it in a moment. Vision of unity. Focus on the light. Right to see and releasing illusions. But also pineal activation. Okay. Synchronicity. Opportunities in divine timing. Open to change and divine outcomes. Yes. There is definitely something about also patience coming through, because I just got this message yesterday. So whenever we are waiting for something, whenever we, let's say, especially right now, because I give also a lot of personal readings, I work a lot with clients, and many people say that they would like to move forward, or the collective right now is almost in this limbo, in this in-between state, where I feel on a collective level our patience is really being tested. But the reason why this happens, it has actually to do with self-love. Because one part of patience is actually that when we are patient, then it actually means that we are trusting in what is to come. Because otherwise we would not trust that something else is coming. Otherwise we would not trust that our manifestations are coming in. So the first step of being patient is actually realizing, yes, we do trust. But then the patience in the sense of actually waiting, it is that we want to allow ourselves to take as much time as we need in order to align ourselves to the reality we want to manifest. So when we are stressed about things not happening, if we are stressed about like when is my manifestation finally coming or when are things finally happening, then it has something to do with self-love. Because when we are mad because things are not happening, then we are also mad with ourselves because we are saying you should heal faster or you should transform faster. And that in itself is almost closing ourselves off from love. That in itself is closing our heart, because we say like we need to force ourselves to heal in order to have that reality that we want. And for example, if we want to manifest a loving relationship, for example, or friendships, or calling in our soul tribe, or just having more joy and happiness in our life, the reason why we are being tested with our patience is because it is helping us to be gentle with ourselves. It is helping us to be kind to ourselves, and it has something to do with self-love. So when we master patience, then this is the key to our freedom, because it has to do with, again, accepting the cycles of nature. Do we keep on breathing, or do we hold on by holding our breath? And Thoth is coming through to help us to breathe, to let go, and to accept the cycles as they are. But then at the same time, also tuning into the messages that come from Spirit. Because we are being guided all the time. And even if things are not happening in the material realms, things are actually being woven together for us behind the veil. So some of you are definitely trying to manifest something. For some of you it could be soul tribes. For some of you it's either a relationship, but again, it's actually the energy of feeling love on a deeper level. Feeling divine love. Feeling love in the sense where we are marrying both darkness and light, marrying both matter and ether in order to embody that divine love while still being on earth. And that is the common denominator of all of our manifestations. It doesn't matter in which form this love comes, but all of our manifestations are based on that. All of our ambitions, all of our actions are actually subconsciously or consciously based on embodying that unity while being here on earth. And this is what it means to experience heaven on earth. So for some reason, Thoth is really coming through to help us navigate this human experience, and knowing that we have so much help beyond the veil, on the other side of the veil, because we have the Three of Pentacles and the Three of Cups, where there is this energy of you're never alone. Even if we might think we are alone, even if we might think we have to always take actions, or even if we might think that it always depends on us taking actions, this is also an illusion, because it is safe to let go, it is safe to trust, it is safe to let our sword down. And with the Seven of Coins, it's actually about knowing that the harvest is coming in, our manifestations are being manifested, but we don't want to hyper focus on the goal, because the journey itself is the blessing, actually. Because imagine if we would have everything already. Imagine if this love would be there from the very beginning. Then again, if there would only be love, if there would only be union, then there would be no experience, because then it's source contained within itself. So there needs to be this duality. There needs to be also darkness. And that's why we want to embrace that darkness, because it is the very darkness, it is the very lack of love, the very state of not being healed that actually makes us appreciate the light even more, or makes us understand the light for what it actually is. And that's why it's saying focus on the light, because yes, it's embracing the darkness, but always seeing it for the light that it is, and that both are part of the same coin. Very interesting message. I'm being told to look at the back of the decks. So we have the dolphin, play, it's okay to relax, smile again. And exactly, when we're able to master patience, when we're able to surrender to the darkness, when we're able to accept the darkness and to accept, let's say, the more negative traits, then we can open our heart, then we can continue to breathe, and then we can have this light-hearted approach. It's a very similar message to pile number 2. If you feel drawn to that, there is definitely also a message in there for you as well. But it's about smiling again. And that's the key to our freedom. Like, we want to walk around this earth plane having this integrated, unified vision, where we are operating from our higher self's perspective. And this is this vision of unity, like all of this awakening that is happening is exactly this, what I have been sharing, but on a collective level. And the more we embody that state of consciousness, the more we can open the barriers, not only between each other in the human collective, but also open the barriers between spirit. Because again, we are not alone. And the spiritual beings, our ancestors, our spirit guides, our star family, they can actually help us very much with this harvest. So the more we open our heart and the more we accept the darkness, we can literally bring heaven to earth, and we can, yes, I'm hearing bringing Eden, so the Garden of Eden, New Lemuria, this merit perspective of source, but in the physical realm. And this is what is happening on a... Exactly, look at this, that's the card. Okay, no, it's not this one. I thought it was the Lemurian egg, but again, this dolphin energy of being in this, pure love is the key. Being in this energy of, operating from this integrated cosmic child perspective is the key to our freedom, the key to our love, the key to success, the key to everything, basically. And when I say the integrated inner child, it means that we understand that we are the eternal child, that we are infinite, and that no matter how much darkness we are experiencing, no matter how many cycles we have in our lifetime, like how many incarnational cycles we have, in the end we are untouchable. In the end we are source. In the end we are eternal. So we really exist for eternity. So we want to embrace every part of the process. So that's why it's also important not to stress ourselves, because we exist for eternity anyway. So there is nothing to gain, nothing to lose. And it is safe to play, it is safe to let go. Back of the deck. Oh no, this is the one from before. Splitting the deck, that's what I hear. Oh, look at this. Oh, I love it. 9 of Pentacles, wish fulfillment. The more we operate from this state of consciousness, the more we understand that all of our wishes, like everything we want to manifest, is already here. Because we're not chasing these manifestations. What we're actually chasing is this feeling of divine love in our heart. And we might think that it comes from physical sources, or we might even think that it comes from spiritual sources. But no, it's actually the marriage between both. It's, yes, finding pleasure in the physical realms, but also finding pleasure in the spiritual realms. Not hyper-focusing on only the spiritual, but also embracing the physical. Like, it's okay to have pleasure. It's okay to enjoy good food. It's okay to have it all. But again, always finding the balance. Not hyper-focusing on one and not hyper-focusing on the other. But only when we have the balance of both, then we can be happy. because we can not only operate also from our soul perspective, because then we cannot apply ourselves in this physical realm. So in order to manifest all of our wishes, it's exactly, yes, about embodying the energy of Thoth. And Thoth is this married union between the both aspects, the dragon and the serpent and the bird, which is then the dragon. And we have the Seven of Wands, splitting the deck. So yeah, every time there is a thought or a paradigm or a structure or something that is limiting, it is also about almost, we don't have to accept all the limitations that are almost being imposed on us. Because very often we might think we have to conform, very often we might think we don't have any other choice than following the rules of society or following the system, but that is also an illusion. Because the only thing that these, let's say, distortions are trying to make us think is that we don't have the power or that we don't have the choice. And they are manipulating us in the sense that, I don't say they are manipulating us, because also this system, like the matrix and everything that's happening, it's still part of source. It's still part of this oneness. But whenever we are being challenged with darkness or with limitations or with the more negative things, then it is actually about understanding that it's only an illusion that tries to make us believe that we don't have the choice to choose love, that we have to choose fear, or we have to choose an ego-based mind or an ego-based approach. But that is, again, that's the illusion, because it is neither one or the other. It is only one. So when we embody that oneness, when we are brave enough to operate from this consciousness of love, then nothing can stand in our way. Then we don't even need to follow the rules of society which are limiting us. I don't say that everything is against us, but a lot of it is in place to restrict our freedom. A lot of it is in place to make things complicated. But yeah, when we choose love, then nothing can stand in our way. And again, all these distortions are only here to almost make us believe that we don't have the choice. Disempower us to make us believe that we have to give our power away. But now is the time to reclaim our power, to reclaim our love, and to move from that way of being. And this is what is the actual blessing. Like, it's not about having super spiritual experiences or having a lot of money in the physical, but it's again this union of both, and almost walking through life with an open heart, an open inner eye, and then nothing can stand in our way. And this is exactly what is happening on the collective level. And that's why Thoth is coming through right now to help us raise our consciousness, to awaken the dragon within ourselves, to awaken our magical abilities. Because the more lights pop up, the more people start to see, like the more we are truly empowered, then there is no stopping. Then we are literally creating heaven on earth, because this is where we come from, and we are here to embody this in this present moment. What a beautiful energy, beautiful message. I'm gonna stop here. I really hope you resonated with the messages, and please let me know in the comments if you did. And I'm also offering personal readings, so if you would like to have a personal reading, you find all the information in the description box below. And I'm sending you all of my blessings, sending you all of my love, and I hope to see you in the next reading. Thanks so much for watching. Bye bye, much love.